Hey, good 4 o'clock, right? Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Hey, Dave Wilson, Results Staffing and Social Media. Just a couple questions. Just a quick video on it's okay to say no, and breaking up is hard to do, but it's needed sometimes. So I'll be right back after these messages. All right, it's 4 o'clock or 4:10. Hey, everybody! Tonight. See, you can just tell it's been a long day. Today, I wanted to talk to you real quick. There's two subjects. It's okay to say no, and breaking up sometimes is hard to do on that part. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is markup cost and why staffing companies sometimes have an issue with companies and don't take them. They don't want to do anything with those clients because of the markup percentage. I'm going to give you a quick run through. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. And if you're a decision maker or another staffing company, I think you feel this pain. And respectively, I'm saying it's the truth. This is how it is. And that's why the companies and the staffing companies need to have that discussion. I have a great colleague that tells me all the time, if you don't talk to them, they don't know what you're encountering and what they're encountering. So I think if you just twice a week, there's no reason right now, pre-COVID, it was just wild, right? But the way of the high turnover in logistics is I would really take it serious. And really, I want to explain to you, let's just give you an example. All right. If a company is giving you if we're giving you a 38% markup, let's just assume the 38%, right? And it's $15 an hour. So with a bill rate of $20.70 an hour for one employee, it's $5.70 for that, right? It's just a simple breakdown. So you got $165, right, for one employee in an 8-hour period that we're going to bill. That's not in the pay factor for paying them. You times that by 10, real simple. You can do the math. $1,656, let's say. That's for 8 hours for the billing, right? You times that by 5. All right, you come out to $8,280 in billing for that week. That's just 5 days, no overtime, because sometimes clients want to cut that down and don't want to split the cost. They want you in there, but they want to split it. And sometimes, again, respectfully, sometimes the models that aren't working then, sometimes they're not going to work now. Because when I listen to somebody now that through all the experience that I've had in staffing and logistics, I enjoy the direct hires and I love all that stuff. But think about that. So you might say to yourself, wow, $8,280. Well, then comes reality that you got to pay the bills and you got to pay the employees. So let's just assume it's $45.60 that I'm going to make off that employee for 8 hours. That's what I'm making. Okay, me after they're paid. Okay, times that by 10, right? Comes up to $456 a day for 5 days. And now you have to take your burden cost. Okay. So now you're down to $22,280. Take your burden out of like $700 to $800. Now you're down to $1,686, right? That's what 10 candidates. Now 10 employees. Again, I keep saying this respectively. I'm not degrading anybody or I just want to explain to you. So if you're a client and you're hearing this, why some of the staffing companies have a hard time performing. And it's not because they can't find the candidates, it's because it's just freaking expensive. So now think about it. If you're the boss, you're the owner of the company, would you take 10 employees and you're going to make $1,696 minus a lot there? Because think about it. That's not including, I know some people are going to say your burden cost is high where workers come up in advertising. You can't put it in. You're talking, that's even less money. You're not even making that because remember, all the background checks, all the drug screenings, the high turnover, the time it takes that branch to perform what some of the clients are requesting. It's hard. They're not making that much money. So when you say the next day anymore, if you come up to, the staffing and on that Friday and say, hey, we want 20 people by Monday. Phew, I'd be straight out honest with you. I'm going to get you 10, but I'll see what I can do, but I don't overpromise, because that's what I did before. I've learned through the experience that not to overpromise. I think that shows integrity and honesty for what we're trying to offer. So think about all that. And then I have some clients I always remember saying that it's your problem. And not anymore. It's both our problems. Because like Union Boulevard, where majority of Lehigh Valley staffing companies are, listen, it's just a vicious circle, right? And I know I've been there for over 15 years. A vicious circle. The client candidate stops here, doesn't work out. He just goes down the street to the next one. Then they come around to the next one. Then they come around the next one. Before you know it, they're back to you and they're like, didn't you work for us before? You did no call, no show? Yes. Right. So that's where, when you think about it, that little bit of money, $1,500, would you do it a week? I might as well go back and work just full time. I could pay that and not even have 5 employees or 10. But that's what I wanted you to explain to some clients, that's what you're facing up against. So when you're paying, like, let's say, for example, I'm going to start, I like this. There's a big A company, right? Staffing company. Okay. Now they can't fill all the orders. They'll go out there, they'll scarf it up, say for 40%. They're going to get the 40% because they're the big A, not Amazon. So now what they do is they sub it out because they can't perform. And that's, again, that's not their fault. It's really hard out there right now. And I give everybody, the recruiters and the clients, HR directors, I love you. I don't know how you do your job without pulling your hair out, but I'm always sticking up for HR directors because they're the best, hardest working, and I don't know how they do it, because I would have gone out of that. If I would have known I had to recruit and do proposals and all that, oh, the hell with that stuff. But think about that. So, you need, if you want 10 people, right, you need close to 20 to get to 10. Then by the time they show up, you're going to get to 6 or 7. That's reality. Some of them are better. But what I went back to the subbing is they sub it out to A, takes it. Then they sub it out to B. Okay. So now they might get a 40. They're going to sub it out to B for 35 or 30. Just give or take. Now remember those conversions I told you. Now think about that at a 30%. Oh my God. So take that now. Okay. Now they're actually reaching out to a third party staffing. And then when a new staffing company calls you, and they need to know who is the decision maker, because I'm tired of saying HR. I feel sorry for them again. If HR just says, no, I'm not decision maker, I'm just taking the information, that would be great, because you could cut out all the phone calls, all the stress. Just tell your person down there, listen, take the information. What are they looking for? Straightforward. This is what we want. And this way you can just stop and say, no, thank you. It's your choice. Or send it up to your decision makers. That's what I would do. Take that burden off of you. But think about that. It doesn't make sense to take it on, because you got recruiters' costs and you got all that stuff. And just like you do as a client, you have all that expense. Now with the PP, the protective equipment you need. Wow. Who's absorbing all that cost? The client, maybe sometimes partially the staffing. These are hard discussions that you need to do. So if you're a salesperson for like a staffing, or trying to get into a company, this is where being honest, upfront, show your integrity. If it doesn't work, it leads into my next discussion. It's okay to say no. I've said no 3 times already. I would love to take on those accounts that I had. Man, I'll tell you what, I came home and did the happy dance, right? And then when you sit there and try to do all the models, and when you're in staffing for a while, you understand it's just a high turnover. But if you're not having the discussions, that's what I would do. But then back to that. So third party, that is insane. That a third party is filling see, I've done orders for Amazon. They don't even know it. I've done orders for other ones and they don't even know it. So when we call you and you say, no, we don't need your help. Wow. Well, I'm doing it now, but you just don't know my name. So that's what it is. So if you're not speaking right now, I see it out there. And like today, I'm going to be honest with you. I took 4 candidates from another company. I don't care. I went after them and I got them, and they're not going to show up tomorrow at the other company. They took a job. One day notice, hell yeah, boom. Call me on your lunch break. That's just reality. It's listen, I'm going to do what I got to do to show results. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know what I do as long as I provide the people for you. As long as I'm preparing and sending you candidates, what we have learned, even myself, is what do you want? Quality or quantity? I've reversed it. If you're asking me for 25 people, I don't want 25 people. Start me out with 10, because I want to find you good, qualified candidates. Because I'll never forget the one manager that I went over to the HR director at a company, and she said, Dave, I would rather you have me send 5 people versus the 10 that are going to stay. And I could see it in her eyes. I wanted to say, wow, it's not always the pay rate right now. Seriously. It's not always. It helps. Let me tell you, 15 from $12 to 15, that's a big jump, right? But on the logistics side of the companies, candidates call me and it seems like an average of 15, and I'm like, that's easy. Because everybody, if you go on the social media, that's all you see. $15 an hour, 50. I get tired of sometimes seeing that, but that's what we do. So they're looking at shifts, right? Flexibility. All right. And like the average is 72 hours of placement. That's what most staffing companies say. Hey, you give us 72 hours notice, we're supposed to provide. All right. When you say a pool of people, listen, it was great to have a pool. It was easy. Right. But now it's a little bit tougher, because some of the discussions you need to have with your clients, again, it's hard. I would call up and say, listen, I don't know what to do. But this is, if you're experiencing high turnover, why? Why are they leaving? Exit interviews probably aren't being done. It's just too much work in the time of a day to call people trying to get their, get it. But you do have some insights. So you need to turn those insights over to the company. Follow-ups. You need to see, why are they leaving? Is it a supervisor that's just a total, one of those type micromanagers? Or is it some of the staff there that are giving them a hard time? Is it because the point system's too tough right now? Because you figure being late. I had one candidate. She was so happy that it was starting at 3:15 versus 3, because that 15 minutes gave her time for her significant other there to get off of work, and then she can go. She was just happy as anything with 3:15. So look at your turnover, and again, why? Is it because you're getting them to work? Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes some of the clients make. And some of the reason, listen, staffing companies get dreaded. I dread when a company brings in 25 people, right? And then you send them home without giving them at least 4 hours pay. You send them home. Well, we don't want to pay that 4 hours. Somebody's got to pay it. Because if you do the math, and I'm sorry, but a high turnover on both sides, it's not you that are spending all the money. It's not. It's both. So if I was them, man, I'll tell you what, have them clean. If you have 10 people, you want to send them home, you're going to lose them. Or at least you're going to lose 4 from people like myself or other companies. Because I follow all the social media that says, oh, this company's horrible. This one's this one's that. I follow all the companies. I look at all the reviews. I look at everybody's reviews. I know a lot of them are negative. Even on mine, sometimes they get negative and people are mad. And I get that. But if you look at the reviews and read the ones that you have, right, you can sometimes feel, maybe if you're in HR, I would look and say, well, let's reach out to that person. Because that insights there can save you a lot of money. And me, myself, company, whatever. So, be honest. Integrity, have the discussions that you don't want to have, because when it comes to the markup percent, listen, I would rather be honest with you. If you said, all right, 38%, I'll take that. But on a conversion rate, let's just say they finished 520 hours, it's $500 or something like that. Something that the staffing company can recoup some of the cost, because some of the companies require lanyards, okay? Some of them require T-shirts. Okay. Some steel toes that some companies pay for it, some don't. All right. So the safety equipment, the glasses. I've had companies say, well, they got to they have the safety, the glasses, I'm sorry, but that's wrong because all clients have to provide the safety equipment. I will not go into a company that's not issuing. That's part of their cost. My cost is just to get the candidate there and work, but work safely and find out why they're leaving. Because let's just say you're at Amazon, it doesn't matter, Coca-Cola, all that. You're there, and the next day they don't show because they went right across the street. That's paid another $2 an hour. All right. And what I've noticed is, and since I've left, I've staffed for 14 of the top companies in the Lehigh Valley. Oh, there's Glenn. Hey, Glenn, how you doing? So I've staffed and I understand the struggles. But with the new tools, right, with the virtual and the remote and everything, if you really listen to an expert that knows how to do it from start to finish and try and just take some ideas. It doesn't have to be concrete, but if you listen, the new recruiting styles, it's got to change. I use like 4 or 5 functions and every night, all the email blasts, even like from Career Builder, all the 7,000 emails from there, and everybody's got them. You got your database from years ago, social media. But with all the other ones, Glenn Graves, surviving. I can hear you, Glenn. I understand what that means. That's the same here. I think everybody struggles and, trying to find work. But, that's what I just wanted to make the video about here, or the live session. So I'm going to let everybody go, and I got a show at 9 o'clock tonight that we always talk about staffing. We try to have a lot of great guests on, but it's reality. And again, just remember one thing. You have to have those conversations, and it's okay to break up nicely. Give plenty of notice, just like you're giving notice to it. Like if I want to leave a staffing company or a client, hey, listen, I'm going to work hard with them. I'm going to say, listen, I'm leaving in 30 days. Well, you usually have that negotiated, but I'm going to give you a heads up even prior to that. I'm going to say, listen, if this doesn't change, and if there's something that we're doing wrong, not just a blame game, but if it's something that we're doing wrong, we need to know. Because I'm the one right now who listens, and even the interns now, we listen to all the candidates, all the complaints, and I let that go one ear, not the other sometimes, but I still listen. Because when it's 3 or 4 saying it the same about one company, listen, there's about 6 companies in the Lehigh Valley that I wouldn't even touch. I would not even go there. That's where I get my candidates from. The bigger companies is where I get my candidates from, because that's just that's my pool. Let's just say I come after those bigger companies to pull them out and take them and put them with us into other companies, because the chances of them being happy, in my opinion, that's the way we win. We take them from you that people don't like to work, their candidates. So on that, I'll talk to everybody soon. And remember, it's okay to break up, and it's okay to have those conversations. Thanks. Oh, before I do that, no, I always forget it's a live. I always like to end it out through this. Talk to you soon.